Welcome to the Project Management Prepcast, helping you prepare for the PMP exam. Here's your instructor, Cornelius Fichtner.
Hello and welcome back to the Project Management Prepcast, your teammate helping you manage your studies towards successful completion of the PMP exam. I'm your instructor, Cornelius Fichtner. The project management team, with management here being in parentheses, is the main topic of this lesson, where we look at both the project team and also the project management team. The project team consists of all individuals who perform the daily tasks that ultimately determine the success or failure of our projects. So in this lesson, what are we going to look at? Well, we will be defining the project team and its characteristics. We will describe different types of project team composition. Then we'll take a look at the differing roles and responsibilities of project team members, list the important interpersonal skills that are needed for project team members, and we are going to be discussing considerations with co-located teams versus virtual teams. And it's important to note right at the beginning of this lesson that there is a fundamental difference between the project team and the project management team. And we have a very simple but effective graphic to show you what the difference is. So the project team includes all individuals who are actively working on your project. The project management team, however, is a subset of the project team, and this includes the project manager and any additional project management staff that help the project manager manage the project. The project management team has project management functions. So let's begin with the big box first, with the project team. According to the PMBOK guide, the project team is a set of individuals who support the project manager in performing the work of the project to achieve its objectives. So these individuals, they support the project manager and perform the project work, which includes the tasks to get the actual work done. Those are project team tasks and possibly tasks to help manage the project, which are project management tasks. Remember, the project team includes everybody and all the work we need to do. So that's project work on the deliverables and project management work on management tasks. The project team characteristics are such that the project team includes the project manager and the group of other project team members who are working together to perform the specific tasks that are necessary on the project to achieve its objectives. So that's the big blue box that we have seen, but the project team may also include project management staff, the smaller box that we saw, who are usually project team members who carry out the work but may also assist with the management of the project itself. The project team is comprised of individuals from different working groups with specific subject matter knowledge or with a specific skill set to carry out the work of the project. The structure and characteristics of the project team can vary widely, but one constant is the project manager's role as leader of the team. Regardless of what authority the project manager may have over the members of the project team, the project manager is always considered the leader of the team. Let's now look at different ways in which the overall project team is made up by describing project team composition. This refers to the way in which the project team is gathered together and built and is based on numerous factors, beginning with the organizational structure that exists in the company where the project is being executed, whether it's functional, matrix, or projectized. That dictates the relationship between the project manager and the rest of the organization, as well as the authority of the project manager. The project manager may be the team's line manager with full authority over the team members, or may have little or no direct organizational authority over the team members. Then we have scope and complexity of the project, which also dictates the project team composition in terms of both the number of team members that are needed and the level of expertise needed by each team member to ensure project success. On smaller projects, often there are very small project teams with only a project lead and maybe a few subject matter experts, whereas on large projects there may be very large teams with multiple subject matter experts in multiple areas and even a dedicated project management team responsible for the management of the project. The physical location of the project team members will also determine the optimal composition of the project team. The most effective form of communication is face-to-face, and this is best performed when the project team members are co-located in the same physical space. But this isn't always possible in today's digital world, where many project teams have at least a few virtual team members. Project team composition will also be influenced by the specific type of project that is being executed by your organization. If the project is being executed to fill the need of another internal department, there may be different considerations than if it's being undertaken for an external customer as part of a contractual agreement. Although there are many different project team compositions possible based on the needs of the organization and the customer, there are two basic types of team composition that cover most projects: a dedicated team or a part-time team. A dedicated team exists when all or a majority of the project team members are assigned to work full-time on the project. The project team may either be co-located or virtual. They usually report directly to the project manager, and this is the simplest structure for a project manager as well, since the lines of authority are clearly established and team members can focus all of their attention exclusively on the project's objectives. And then, of course, a part-time team exists where the project manager and team members are working part-time on the project, while still remaining in their existing functional departments and continuing to carry out their normal functions. Here, the functional manager maintains control over the team members attached to the project. Part-time team members are also very often assigned to more than just one project at a time. What we've heard so far is true for the project team, our overall project team. Now, here is a definition and some characteristics of the project management team, the subset that we saw in our overall project team. So, according to the PMBOK guide, the project management team is the members of the project team who are directly involved in project management activities. So these individuals, they support the project manager by performing project work that includes tasks to help manage the project. They may also perform other project work tasks, but are more important stakeholders since they also help to manage the project. So far in this lesson, we have talked about the overall characteristics of the project team and also the project management team a little bit, along with the different ways in which the project team may be composed. One constant is that the project team will always include a project manager, or at least someone who is working in the project manager's role. The other roles that we find often are project management staff. We have the project management office, the PMO. We have project staff. We have supporting experts, also sometimes referred to as subject matter experts or SMEs. We have business partners, which could be organizations, as well as the business partner members who work for those organizations. Then there are the end user representatives or customer representatives, and of course there could be sellers from whom we buy items for our project. Now that we have listed these different types of project team member roles, let's delve into a bit more detail for each of them, some of their responsibilities and how they interact with each other in different ways and at different points in the project. We begin this review with perhaps the most important set of roles on the project team, which is the project management staff. So, the project management staff always includes the project manager, who leads the project management team, including themselves and the project management staff. And the overall project team is also led by the project manager throughout the project lifecycle. The project manager, as always, is ultimately responsible for the success or failure of the project. The project management staff are the project team members who perform project management activities such as scheduling, budgeting, reporting and control, communications and risk management, and administrative support. If you are working on a large project, then you as the project manager may have a full-time project management staff helping you manage the project in terms of certain key project tasks. For example, project coordinators, project expediters, risk management specialists, or any support staff that need to be added to help with specific project management tasks. If, however, you are managing a smaller project, then you as the project manager are very likely going to be the only person responsible for managing and executing the necessary project management tasks while your project team works on delivering the project results, the deliverables. If it is deemed necessary for a project to have a full-time project management staff, there are several ways that these roles and responsibilities can be filled. First of all, the project management staff may be chosen by either the organization or the project manager, so that the most qualified individuals are selected for this staff. The prerequisites would normally be an ability to perform certain management functions, as well as being an expert in certain project areas so that they can really roll up their sleeves along with the other project team members and help perform the actual project work when necessary. Many larger organizations also have project management officers, PMOs, that supply the necessary project management and administrative staff that is necessary to successfully complete your project. The added bonus of using a PMO is that not only is the staff necessary to successfully complete the projects already in-house, but often there are specific standards and policies that are adopted by the PMO that are followed on each project. This helps to ensure consistent management, development and delivery processes from one project to the next. Next, we have the project staff, which refers to the core group of individuals on the project team with specifically assigned roles and responsibilities who will be performing the majority of the actual work to create the project deliverables and achieve the project objectives. They may have varied skill sets. They may be assigned full-time or part-time and may be added or removed from the project team as the project progresses. These people perform the day-to-day tasks, and depending on the type of development necessary for your project, normally this includes designers, developers, testers, and possibly even documentation staff. Although specific roles and responsibilities for the project team members are assigned, the involvement of all project team members in project planning and decision-making is still critical to the success of your project. Participation of all project team members during planning and decision-making adds their expertise as input to these processes, and it strengthens their individual commitment to the overall project. If I have some say in how we do things, well, I'm going to be supporting it much more than if it's being dictated. Supporting experts, sometimes also referred to as subject matter experts or SMEs, they perform activities required to develop or execute the project management plan. These can include such roles as contracting, financial management, logistics, legal, safety, engineering, quality control, you name it. These will always differ for each project depending on the specific needs of your project. Depending on the size of the project and the level of support that is required, supporting experts can be assigned to work full-time or may simply participate with the team part-time at the time during which the project needs their specific expertise and skills. In addition, depending on the size and complexity of the project's budget and the level of expertise that is needed, supporting experts can either be procured internally from the organization that is executing the project or from external sources using outsourcing or consulting services. And while we're talking about insourcing and outsourcing, let's take another look at this overview slide here. The first 4 project roles, the project management staff, the PMO, the project staff, and the SMEs, they are most often filled from inside of our organization that's executing the project, while the next 3 roles there, business partners, customer representatives, and seller, they are most often filled from the outside of the project organization. And of course, the idea of bringing in these external people is to augment our project team to help us execute the project task on an as-needed basis and work with the other project team members to help successfully complete the project. Business partners, these are organizations that are external to the organization that is performing the project and may also be assigned to the project team to help with effective execution. They have a special relationship with our organization, which is sometimes attained through the use of a certification process or other means to perform specific tasks on our project that cannot be effectively performed by existing project team members. Depending on the size and complexity of the project, this could be an organization that has a single business partner in the organization for which the project is being executed, or a large organization where several project team roles need to be filled by them on the project. Business partner members attached to the business partner organization provide specialized expertise or fill a specific role, such as installation, customization, training, support, and so on. They may also be assigned as members to the project team to ensure effective coordination and communication between the business partner and the organization that is executing the project. Every project is undertaken for a specific purpose that supports an organization's strategic objectives. The ultimate recipient of the project deliverables will be the end user or end customer who will actually be using the product that our project produces. On smaller projects, an actual end user or customer will be part of the project team and will work closely with the other project team members in a co-located environment to answer their questions, to help them focus on what is most important, and to sign off on any requested changes. On larger projects and on projects that contain virtual teams, members of the customer organization who will accept the deliverables or products of the project may be assigned to act as representatives of the customer organization or as liaisons between the customer organization and our organization who is executing the project. The important thing for our project team members to keep in mind here is that these user or customer representatives are usually given the power and authority to make project decisions on behalf of the user or customer. This means for us, we need to communicate with them and collaborate with them as if we are speaking directly with the user or the customer, even though we're just talking to a representative. But they have the authority, they have the power. For us, they are the users, they are the customers. And lastly, we have the sellers, also often referred to as vendors, suppliers, or contractors. These are external organizations that enter into a contractual agreement with us, with the executing organization. Sellers provide components, materials, or services to us that are necessary for project success that we cannot provide with the existing project team members. The project team is then often assigned the responsibility of overseeing the performance of that seller, as well as the acceptance of seller's products or deliverables or services. If the seller bears a large share of the risk for delivering the project's success and result, they may play a really significant role on our project team. Now that we have reviewed the major roles that are often part of a project, let's talk about some of the interpersonal skills that effective project team members should possess. But what do we mean by interpersonal skills? Well, Wikipedia defines these as the skills a person uses to communicate and interact with others and how people relate to one another. In business context, it refers to the measure of a person's ability to operate within business organizations through social communication and interaction. As a member of a project team, in whatever role you may play, there are certain interpersonal skills that you need to master in order to effectively analyze situations and issues that arise on your projects so that you can develop appropriate solutions. Effective communications is recognized as one of the major contributing factors to a project team's success, as well as each individual project team member's success. Effective communication with not only your project team members, but also with other project stakeholders lays the foundation for teamwork and high performance. Teamwork, then, is the process of the individual team members finding ways to effectively work together to achieve the objectives of the project. This includes working collaboratively and providing constant feedback and support to other team members, as well as engaging in team-building activities. These activities help to build trust, establish effective working relationships, and build team cohesiveness. Collaboration, although it's definitely a key ingredient in effective teamwork, it is also important that the project team members effectively collaborate with all project stakeholders, not only their teammates. It is just as important to provide constant feedback and support to stakeholders from senior management, business partners, the customer end users, or their appointed representatives. And then we also have cross-functional skills. In this ever-changing world of technology and skills, each member of the project team must have the capability of being cross-functional. This refers to, instead of being an expert in only one aspect of the project, that they embrace new project skills to help in areas that may be outside of their usual comfort zone. This will not only provide them with personal improvement opportunities, but will also help the team become more efficient, more productive, and more self-sufficient. If, however, you are the member of a project management team, you not only need to have the interpersonal skills we just talked about, you must also possess very specific skills in order to ensure your project's success. Influencing, that's a strategy you can use to share your power and use your other interpersonal skills to convince your project team members or other stakeholders to engage in mutual cooperation towards the achievement of project goals. As a project team member, it's important for you to establish direction for your team, align and constantly realign your team in that direction, and motivate and inspire and lead them to want to do the things that need to be done rather than forcing them to do the things that need to be done. And although it's one of the most difficult interpersonal skills to develop as a project management team member, trust building is critical. This involves cooperating with, sharing information with, and solving problems with the help of the project team and other stakeholders. By building trust, you will establish positive relationships with stakeholders and increase engagement and collaboration. And then a major part of being an effective project management team member is the ability to utilize the different decision-making techniques and models that are available to help you make the correct decisions and recognize when you can make an informed and appropriate decision on your own, as well as when you need input or guidance from your project team or other stakeholders to make the most effective decisions. Another important concept that needs to be considered in terms of the project team is whether the team will be co-located. Co-location, also sometimes referred to as a tight matrix, is an organizational placement strategy where the project team members are physically located close to one another in order to improve communication, working relationships, and productivity. And by the way, if you look at the word co-located here on the screen, you will notice that we spelled it with one L. If you look on the web, you will find that in today's agile world, co-located is spelled with two L's. So whenever you talk about agile, for some reason, co-located is spelled with two L's. However, in the PMBOK guide, and the PMP exam is based largely on the PMBOK guide, co-located is spelled with one L. That's why here on the PM Prepcast we chose to go with the PMBOK guide spelling co-located with one L. But that's just an aside here. So the ideal form of co-location is to have the entire project sitting and working in the same general space. This is generally an open area without cubicles where team members sit face to face and actually in the same room and have all the resources that they need to execute the project at their arm's length. This is the ideal form of co-location and normally only takes place in a projectized organization. But co-location can also mean that the project team members are in the same building or in the same campus, but not necessarily physically in the same room. However, these organizations often have a central space that is then dedicated to the team and contains all of the team's dashboards that provide project status, as well as different supporting documentation such as organizational breakdown structures, work breakdown structures, or project plans. This space is often referred to as a war room, where the team can gather for meetings and status updates, and where other stakeholders on the project can also determine the current status of the project. If it is not feasible to have the team all in one place, sometimes having a team meeting room where the team has their status meetings and stores project documentation is a good substitute. It can be temporary, such as at strategically important points before product releases or at other milestones in the project, or for the entire project. It really all depends on the specific needs of the team and the specific availability of facilities, such as these meeting rooms. There are many benefits to having a co-located team. Since face-to-face is the most effective form of communication, having team members literally sit in the same room will maximize communication effectiveness. By having a central war room where all project documentation is housed, anyone interested in the project can stop by and obtain a quick status of where the project currently is, as well as where it seems to be going. Working side by side also eliminates the necessity of sending emails, leaving phone messages, or walking to other buildings, where now team members can simply raise their head, look at their teammate, and get a question answered immediately. By having the entire team in the same space, it will avoid the possibility of pockets or cliques of individuals who go off and do their own thing. All members of the team will work collaboratively in this environment, and when problems arise, it's easier for a co-located team to have all hands-on-deck meetings to quickly and effectively solve problems and then get back to work. And yes, while co-location is considered a preferred strategy, it's not always possible, which is why project team composition also vary based on the geographic location of its members. This has led to the creation of virtual teams. Virtual collaboration techniques are often used to accomplish the benefits of co-located teams. Various types of communication technology allow team members in different geographical location, including even different countries and different continents, to work together as a virtual team. These teams rely on collaborative tools such as shared online workspaces and video conferencing to coordinate their activities and exchange project information. A virtual team can exist within any type of organizational structure and team composition. Virtual teams are often necessary for projects where resources are located both on-site and off-site, depending on the project activities. A project manager who is leading a virtual team must consider many factors and needs to accommodate differences in culture, working hours, time zones, local conditions, and language differences, to name just a few. But there are also many benefits to having a virtual team. Often the specific expertise necessary to successfully execute a project is not available in the same geographic location of the majority of the other team members. With virtual teams, talent and expertise can be obtained from anywhere in the world. Working virtually enables team members to work from their homes or home offices, which means that the amount of office space and subsequent expense, such as rent, utilities, security, are decreased due to the decreased numbers of team members who are actually working in our central office. Another important benefit of virtual teams is that virtual team members no longer have to spend time and money traveling to and from offices on a daily basis. This allows these team members to enjoy more time outside of their normal workday, performing personal or professional development activities that would normally be tied up during their commutes. Because many C-level employees of both the performing and customer organization are constantly on the go, team members can communicate with them via audio-video conferencing, social media, and web-based meetings at a time that is convenient to each of them, day or night. And lastly, many virtual teams have team members that are dispersed in different time zones and continents, and this means that at least a few team members will be at work constantly throughout the day, 24 hours, 7 days a week, and this can help improve customer service. Let's review and see what we looked at and learned in this lesson. We began with the definition and major characteristics of the project team and saw that the project management team is actually a subset of the project team, and the project management team is comprised of the project manager and the project management staff. We saw the different ways in which a project team may be composed and that it depends on the existing structure of the organization, the scope and complexity of the project, the physical location of the team members, the specific type of projects that are being executed, and whether the project team members are full-time or part-time. Then we looked at the various types of roles that need to be filled on a project team and some of the responsibilities that these roles have and how the interaction exists between these and how that can lead to successful execution of your project. We looked at the important interpersonal skills of all project team members, such as communication, teamwork, collaboration, and cross-functional skills. And then we also looked at the additional interpersonal skills that project management team members should have, like influencing, trust building, leadership, and decision-making skills to help ensure project success. And then finally, we saw some of the differences, pros and cons also of co-located and virtual teams, as well as the benefits of using combination of co-located and virtual team members on your projects. And this concludes our look into the project team and the project management team. So it's time for Justine and me to say goodbye, auf Wiedersehen, or arrivederci.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Or that. Until next time.